It's Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for another edition of the Greg Cherry Show. Joining alongside yours truly, the longest reigning wrestling trivia challenge champion in history, which even if I lose in a couple weeks, I'm still the longest reigning. But we'll see if we get there. Jeff Meacham, obviously the 4-time wrestling trivia challenge champion. What? Yeah. What's up? What's up, brother?
Just it is Wednesday, and you do know what that means. At least on our channels, anyway. We have the Greg Cherry Show, so off we go, kids.
Yep. And let's just get right into it. Like, I know I don't have a whole lot of an intro, but you know, I'm not perfect. It is what it is.
Yes.
So here we go. On today's show, as we normally do, wrestling discussion, and of course, we're bringing up the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship Tournament. The second semifinal match happening tomorrow. Scott Gata, the WWE The Bump Trivia Champion, against Louis Dangor, which I feel like Jeff has a massive investment in.
Well, it's one of those things. Like I'm starting to wonder if I really want to sit on this, because I already told everybody I'd be in on this tomorrow. I'd be, behind the curtain as we're sitting. Like, I don't know if I want to sit and watch this and give myself a heart attack. Like, for real.
Yeah, I get that. But that's intense, and we'll talk about last week's match also, because I know we talked about it on the post show, but in case people didn't see it, which if you haven't,
for sure,
go check it out after this. Weird Law Wednesday. I don't think we've done Nebraska yet.
Pretty sure we haven't.
Oh, we have?
Have not.
Oh, have not. Okay.
Pretty sure we have not. So we'll see.
Yeah, and if we have, then you get to hear them again, because
right.
I didn't do my research to see which states. I'm losing track on which states we're doing. I really need to. Somebody out there, go back, watch every Greg Cherry show, and tell me what states we've done.
Right. Get on that. We will make you the unofficial secretary of the Greg Cherry brand.
Yes, Josh, get on that. And the Wednesday Q&A, because I know he's in the chat.
Well, JJ is too, but he's got 3 million movies to watch, so it's
that's fair. So, WrestleMania happened, and
yes, it did.
Night one was very enjoyable. I enjoyed night one greatly.
Right. Definitely.
Night two felt like it never got off the ground for me.
Well, like I said on Monday with everybody and their mother in the room, night two was very much like Greg Valentine. It took a while for the engine to get revving, but once it revved and got on the ground, it moved. The last third of that show was awesome. But overall, yeah, it was very much a complete contrast of show from the previous day, by and large.
Yeah. So, I'm noticing the Wi-Fi thing is in my screen or whatever. So I might be having if I'm having issues, it's because of that. It happened in the match on last Thursday.
Yeah.
So I may have to disconnect and reconnect. But
okay. Yeah. I'm back in my side of the house for the first time since last Wednesday, actually. So I'll probably have similar issues trying to reconnect. So we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Well, I'm going to give you the floor to talk about night one, and I will be right back.
Very good.
So night one, I thought was very good. Jeff, what did you think? And I'm disappearing.
I was astounded at how well night one went, and I only say astounded because I knew it would be a good. I knew WrestleMania would be better than we often give WrestleMania credit for over the years. I mean, we hear it, at Greg's channel, at my channel, with JJ. JJ, to be fair, is just coming back into the thing like we've talked about. But if I can just find the damn, I want to have it in front of me so I can actually talk about things specifically. I don't want to be, talking on my ass here. I do agree with JJ. I think it's funny. It really very much seemed like, based on what we think we know, which we don't really know anything.
True.
Night one very much seemed like a Hunter show, and night two very much seemed like the Vince show. I tend to agree with that philosophy of thinking based on, again, what we think we know about their particular booking styles. But I mean, night one started off hot with a great championship match with a very unexpected result for, I mean, granted, a lot of us did actually pick Bobby Lashley to retain.
I'm still mad about that because I picked Lashley on the show last week.
I know you
and
did.
Then when I saw it was opening, it's like, okay, they're gonna have Drew go over in the opening match just to get a babyface reaction, and I should have stuck with my guns. I should know better.
Yeah, we always tell you when you're defending your title, you always tell them when they're in the contenders matches, go with your gut. First instinct. Number one. Number two, he even get the opening person pop because they gave that to Titus and Hulk.
Yeah,
so, like, they completely sold us on this bill of goods for a friggin' year, and then stuck it up our ass with, haha, we fool you. So it's like, the hell. But
I mean, he did get the first intro as far as matches are concerned.
And damn it, you know, Hulk and Titus notwithstanding, man, that challenger pop was ridiculous. Like, for as little people was in that stadium, when you think about the full capacity of that size of that place, they damn near blew the lacquer roof off of it. So it was awesome. That match was actually really good. I mentioned this on Monday, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Statboy. I'm gonna have him tomorrow, obviously, on his show with the return of Statboy Sports Bar. But I'm pretty sure the Turmoil match was the first tag team Turmoil match that I can recall in WWE history where everybody was one and done. Like, there was no repeat winner in a fall.
That's not true. The Riot Squad won twice.
Did they?
Yeah, they eliminated Billy Kay and Carmella, and they eliminated Mandy and Dana.
Oh, well, then what I said on Monday, just pretend I didn't say that. Very good. Okay. So yeah. So, but in any event, like, for as long as, like, it seemed like it was longer than 14 and a half minutes, but I thought it was well paced and it went very well. I was surprised Natty and Tamina won to a certain extent, but at the same time, they've been really giving them that, you know, rocket ship up their ass push the last few weeks on SmackDown. So I was totally okay with it. I know JJ was totally okay with it and was hoping for a different result the second night because that's his girl. And
the fact that Tamina got chance like, while she was in the match, I was like, good for her. Yeah, like, seriously.
I've been guilty myself of crapping on Tamina, not because of lineage, but I've just not been impressed with her skills in the ring. I'm still not sold 100%, but lumping her in with Nia is grossly unfair.
It really is, because, and I'm glad that, like, Tamina decided to change up her gear for, like, the first time in 7 years.
Right?
It's like, finally, like, she's in, like, actual ring gear. Like, it kind of gives her more of a personality. It's like, good. Like, give that to Tamina.
Yeah, it really seems like she's had the enforcer style attire since she was AJ's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, AJ left the company 6 years ago, for crying out loud. Like, for real. It's like, come on, man. So that was good. I mean, Cesaro and Seth delivered. I mean, I was surprised it went only 11 and a half. Like, I thought they'd give them way more time, but the time they had, they used it, and it was a good match. Great.
Was it really that short?
Yeah, 11:35. Wow. What's even more surprising to me is the shortest match had the most, well, not the most people, but the Raw Tag Team title match was under 10 minutes. And I get they're not trying to have almost be totally exposed yet, which is a great way to approach it for once. Like, I totally am behind. Yeah. But I was surprised they didn't go the route that I swore they were going to go down, which was almost was going to get sick of AJ's yakety yak already and just pop him in the mouth. Like, dude, whatever, you do you. And New Day was going to retain. I was cocksure of that prediction.
I figured it was going to be a setup for AJ to get his Grand Slam. So now he's the only person in both TNA and WWE history to win Grand Slams in both companies. Which
we talked about last week when we were doing your predictions, is that he had the opportunity. It's like, of anybody in the history of both companies, is there anybody else that should be that guy? No, absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. Strowman, okay, your boy Shane, once again, delivers on the big
I'm
stage.
telling you, like, people who sleep on Shane McMahon, was the build up to their match crap? Of course it was.
Oh, God, yes.
But Shane and Braun was fun. So suck it, McMahon haters. Okay, suck it, Shane haters. I should say, because you know what? The cage match, was it the best match Shane's ever had?
No.
I'll admit, no, it wasn't, because him and Angle at King of the Ring still holds like the Shane match for me.
Oh my God, yeah.
But the fact that he got a great match and a great reaction from the crowd for what the buildup was.
Yeah.
Guys, say what you will about Shane McMahon and say what you will about the writers. But when it comes to putting it all on the line in the ring, Shane O'Mac, I still say it, should have been WWE champion 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
He should have defeated Kofi, held it till Mania, and then lost it to Owens. That's what I think should have happened.
I like the booking. So
Josh and I are on the same wavelength.
Oh,
we talked about this on his podcast, like our mutual respect for Shane McMahon.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I'm telling you, like, everybody sleeps on Shane McMahon. Oh, why does he get a spot on the card? Because he freaking delivers a great match. That's why.
Seriously. And you know what? Not to totally, get off on a McMahon tangent. Yes, they own the company. Yes, they book the company. Yes, they're in charge. You can't tell me the last, pretty much since Stephanie stopped kidding ourselves trying to be a women's champion and actually became authority figure Stephanie, none of the four of them have shown me they don't belong doing what they're doing on TV, however much we get them. Hunter is a great person. He pops in. He's a great NXT leader. When Vince shows up, I don't give a shit if we're in, Podunk, Ohio somewhere or some shit. That entire crowd, when we have a crowd, is singing his song along down the ramp. Like, I'll never forget the Raw 25 pop ever. It was ridiculous. Like, the entire arena was singing along. I'm doing it at home. Dylan's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, shush. Vince out here. You put stank on that. Quiet, boy. It's Vince McMahon, damn it. All four of them have really shown me that I don't have to oh God, here they come again. Like I did in 99, 2000, 2001. It's like, oh my God, guys, can we stop with the McMahon family shit already? I am totally sold, and I will put them over and kiss that butt, whatever. So I don't care. What surprised me, the cool down match between the cage match and the main event was the Bad Bunny match. They put the celebrity match in the cool down spot. It's like,
and it wasn't even a cool down match. It was awesome.
That's what I'm saying. It was in the cool down spot, but it's like, damn, dude, I spent how many months ragging on the decision to bring him in? I retract everything. Bad Bunny showed me, and people are like, the celebrity shouldn't dominate. He didn't. He got his ass whooped for 15 minutes.
I don't want to interrupt.
Okay.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
And I'm going to go on a little. It's time for cherry rant time. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Cherry bomb.
Anybody who looks at this from, hey, celebrities have only been training for 8 weeks. Why are they dominating people for 15 years who have been wrestling for 15 years? First of all, we're not supposed to. We all understand the backstage stuff. Do not bring backstage stuff and insider stuff onto the screen. Right. Stop it. Just stop it. Yep. Bad Bunny has been a wrestling fan for pretty much his entire life.
Like us.
He knows all of this stuff.
Yep.
He did a crossbody off the top rope at the Rumble to the floor.
Yep.
And he went out there. He sold his ass off.
Yeah.
He pulled out a freaking Canadian destroyer, for crying out loud.
Right.
And you want to crap on these guys because it's like, oh, well, it doesn't make sense in reality. Quit applying logic to wrestling.
Thank you. God, for real.
Do not apply logic to wrestling. It does. Logic and wrestling do not exist. Okay. No. Together. No. You try to make it make sense. It doesn't have to make sense every single bit of the way.
No.
There are some things that are absurd. Crying out loud. Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt. She was bleeding out Papa Shango stuff all over her head
Again.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Alexa, shut up.
That's why mine is the other word.
Yeah, I really need, when I do my wrestling rants, I really need to unplug my speaker. I really do. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is this. There is so much absurd stuff in wrestling. Just sit back and enjoy it. That's what I did with WrestleMania. I sat back. Yeah. Night one, I loved night one.
Yep.
So much.
Yes.
It was so good. Bad Bunny was ridiculous all over the place. He did a freaking Falcon Arrow too. And it looked beautiful.
Yep.
Like it looked flawless. And he was in sync with Damian Priest. Like, dude, Bad Bunny is like not only taking this seriously, he's doing well with it. So who gives a shit if he's only done it for 8 weeks? He's doing it better than some guys who have been in the business for years. Yeah. So who cares? Yeah. Who cares about how long he's been training if he's naturally gifted at? Are you gonna crap on Kurt Angle because he automatically picked things up and was a main event star within a year? Go have that argument, okay? Yeah. Like, why is Kurt Angle dominating these guys who've been around? I mean, Sean Stasiak, I mean, his dad was a former WWE champion. Why is he dominating him at Survivor Series? You know, are you going to have that argument? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. When you wear these colors into the country's own hosting of an event and you win a gold medal for your country, the first time in the history of your country that they've won the gold medal, and as he's so fond of saying, with a broken frickin' neck, you put stank on Kurt Angle's name. Screw you if you don't like that. And as far as Bad Bunny, you know, Josh very all caps put it, but I'll say it calmer. Adam Pearce and Drew Gulak trained Bad Bunny. Shut the hell up with his lack of credibility right there. 5-time world champion and Drew freaking Gulak, former multi-time champion everywhere he's damn been.
Former cruiserweight champion.
Right, exactly. By the way, total sidebar real quick. Congrats to Kushida, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was not expecting, after all the trials with Escobar and Devlin, he dropped the title the next week. Like, what the crap? But I love it. I'm so happy for Kushida. Anyway.
Yeah, Kushida's the new cruiserweight champion. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing.
Man.
And I have to say, too,
just
based on everything that happened with NXT last night, I love the way. I love the way so much.
Man.
Gargano, Candace, Austin Theory. You know what? Indy Hartwell is like, she hasn't even been on NXT that long. No. But she is adapting so well, and her being with the way is just wonderful.
Yeah, I have not been quiet about my support of. I mean, Candace and I go back. It feels like longer than, well, actually, is longer than Dylan's been alive. So I mean, just be real. So you know, and I haven't met Johnny yet because her and Johnny weren't a thing when she was working out here full time. But I've loved Gargano from Jump Street. You know, people like, oh, we're so sick of the Tommaso Ciampa Gargano feud. Give me something better, and I'll go ahead and say I'll stop. Real, I mean, for real.
And you know what? That goes back to the fickleness of wrestling fans. Oh, I'm sick of Ciampa Gargano. Why?
Why? Yeah. Why are you sick of greatness? God. Anyway, this goes back to what we've talked about, you and I, for years on different shows. Wrestling fans are not happy unless they have a reason to be unhappy.
Yep.
The worst part about wrestling fans is that they're wrestling fans.
Pretty much.
So I did love, though, night one, the 2 longest matches were the ones that should have been the longest. The opener and the main event. They gave both matches time. Granted, under 20, which surprised me for both. I'm not going to lie. But it didn't feel like it, man. Both matches were so well paced, so well done. And, man, I hate that your girl is 0-6, but I am not mad about the result of it at all.
I mean, I'm hoping Sasha can get a WrestleMania win one day. But
right.
I'm still so happy for both Sasha and Bianca. I gushed over that match on Twitter. Just because it was so great. The two of them work so well together.
Yep.
The only thing I would have changed in that match is Michael Cole's commentary at the end. Because he botched the ending.
I know.
Dude, this is the main event of WrestleMania. It's their special match. And you screwed up the commentary. Damn it. It was damn near perfect. And You would think something like that doesn't take away from the match. It doesn't take away from the effort that Sasha and Bianca put out there because they were fantastic. They did everything right. But for the atmosphere and watching the match back, man, like.
So, two things in the comments I'm going to address right off the top here because both of them got my attention right away. We put this picture up on Talk Wrestling on Monday. JJ and I were talking about. JJ sent it to me, and then I talked about it with the group on Talk Wrestling. It was beautiful. I damn near cried when I saw the picture. And as far as Tim and okay, briefly into my zone here. I apologize. I'm glad she wasn't too. You know why? Because she came out there Monday night and reminded everybody why she's the fucking queen. Okay, that promo, a little long, not gonna lie, but dude, bend the knee. She's gonna whoop somebody's ass here soon. And honestly, as happy as I am for Rhea from night 2, Asuka's reign stagnated the championship and the division on Raw. They needed a shakeup, and they needed Charlotte to not be, kissing Asuka ass. And I'm glad she's not anymore. Damn it! All right, I'm getting that.
Charlotte is a natural heel, much like her dad.
Yes.
So
anytime either one of them come back and they're, kissing babies and shaking hands, it's like, you're a Flair. Knock that shit off.
Yeah.
For real. You're not, that's not who you are. No. So great night 1. Like we said, night 2, I think night 2 really didn't get rolling, unfortunately, until the semi-main, Rhea and Asuka. Because that was
Owens and Zayn was entertaining. I like that match.
Owens and Zayn, and again, I don't love Kevin. Let's not bullshit ourselves. But I enjoy Kevin Owens' WWE presentation, and I do. I love Sami Zayn from the beginning. I didn't feel that match. I was happy with the U.S. title result. Let's not gloss over that. But it kind of was what it was. The Apollo Crews moment, he finally got his moment, and I'm so happy. But it was under 7 minutes, and it was interference to get it. I mean, he had to have a heavy do the work. It's like, nope, not for the IC title. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
can we just say that Rhea Ripley is now added to the very short list of people who have won with a live entrance at WrestleMania?
Yep. I was sure it wasn't. I mean, of course, Big E suffered the curse, but
Big E suffered from the curse.
Yes, but Rhea Ripley, and you know what? I was doing live watch along. I'm like, who the hell's singing for Rhea? Is she attached to anybody, or she a cutie pie? She was hot. And then of course they gave Roman and Edge and Daniel over 20, which triple threats should not go under 20 because they're a freaking cluster as it is. So for them to go under 20 means like they're rushing. I mean, really. But it did surprise me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Josh is asking who's the third. There's actually been more than that.
Yep.
Ray at 22, Rhea on Sunday, Triple H at 18.
Yep.
The Rock at 28.
Yep.
I know that the Undertaker at 19. It counts that they both had one. Like Rock and Cena both had one at Mania, so either way, somebody would have got it.
Well, but what I'm saying is their actual entrance music was not live. They had a little bit of a pre-entrance tribute thing.
So you're not counting 18 because like it wasn't Triple H's actual theme?
No, but he was played out and he walked out as that was playing.
Gotcha.
That's the difference. Drowning Pool's version, notwithstanding what it was, because whatever.
I actually can't dig Drowning Pool's version, honestly.
You know me and Lemmy. I can't vary.
Yeah, I know, but
but the fact of the matter is, Drowning Pool's entrance got him the win. Lemmy cursed him twice, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Rock. They had the music, but they had the tribute song, and then If You Smell played, and that's when he walked out, seeing what John with My Time Is Now. That's why I don't care.
But Undertaker at 19 also with Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, it's funny. Taker at 19, he hadn't used Rowan in over a year.
Yeah.
And Fred came out there and the streak moved on, so can't argue with success.
JJ,
you're terrible. I'm never gonna put that up there. That's awful.
Yeah, don't put it up there. So yeah, night 2 was what it was. I predicted Reigns to retain.
Which again, I was surprised it was a thing that he actually retained. Dylan, don't come through the curtain. I'm on the air live right here.
Let me know. Yeah, it was definitely interesting that Reigns did retain, and he basically foreshadowed his promo or foreshadowed the match from his promo on SmackDown, which was kind of cool.
And I loved his .com or whatever exclusive post-match promo. Yeah. I guess it was supposed to be some sort of conference call, and Paul's on a headset, and he goes, "Question was stupid. Say what you want." And Roman's just like, "I done told you. I told you Friday.
Yeah.
How you not believe?" And then he freaking paused, looked in, and was like, "Acknowledge me." And it's like, how can you not at this point?
I mean, Roman in this heel character is just so good.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know what? It almost, do you think that it kind of makes people think like 5 or 6 years ago when Roman was first getting booed, it's like, turn him heel. Now that they turned him heel and he's killing it, it's like, oh, we were right. You should turn him heel all along. It's like, do you think those people feel justified now? Because with the Shield Reigns character, I don't think it would have worked, but with the head of the table, it works.
Yeah. Roman remaining in the character, but just tweaking it to the dark side wouldn't have worked.
No.
This complete shift. Great example. Stone Cold turned heel in 2001. He didn't really change a whole lot. He just upped the intensity. It wasn't until he started hugging and singing and cowboy that you went, well, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
And I always felt Alliance Stone Cold worked. It's just the entire Invasion storyline was such a botch that it couldn't help, but every part of it was going to fail. So
it makes you wonder, like, how would Austin's heel run have gone had WCW still been in business?
Right.
Or if that would have even been the plan.
I was going to say, would they have pulled that trigger had they not beat WCW? That's the thing. It's like, if they were still, if dude, it's so funny you bring that up. I actually made a top 5 list. It's on my phone, so I can't access it right now, but it really comes down to, for me, 5 mistakes with WCW. The oversaturation of the NWO, adding Thunder to the lineup, bad idea. Absurd amounts of creative control yielded to the talent.
Yeah.
People put in charge prior to Bischoff who couldn't give a shit about the company. They just liked the rub from Ted.
Mm.
But the number one mistake had nothing to do with anything in the company. Ted Turner meeting Gerald Levin and making a deal to merge the companies.
Yeah.
If those companies don't merge, we might still be talking about a war right now. I'm not even joking or exaggerating when I say that.
That's very possible, because you figure Impact has basically lasted longer than WCW did as WCW.
Yeah, as a company, they were around for 13 years.
Yeah. So Impact's already surpassed them.
Yeah.
Because they're on year 19 as it is.
20 next year. I had said that, I'm like, TNA Impact's running 20 now. Like, crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that because we share a on-air or whatever anniversary, because, you know, we started that long after they did, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where, again, the whole ripple and Randy only going 6 minutes, it was like, man, this has been built and built and built, and you feel like, oh, really, that's it? And then you watch Monday, you go, oh no, that's not it at all. We've only just begun.
Yeah.
Alexa's promo was sick. Bray's promo was like, oh, okay, he's choosing not to give a shit. Got it. So it was awesome to see. It was really cool.
Yeah, well, I still feel like Bray's promo could have had more explanation, or like at least being upset about what Alexa did.
Yeah.
Because he felt betrayed, but they didn't really capitalize on Bray's side. I don't know. I really thought that, like, Alexa's made sense. Alexa's made a lot of sense, because she basically was like, I used Bray for what I could and then became more powerful as a result. So, one second. Okay. So for I brought you back in. I think you're still muted, but that's another.
Oh, I shouldn't be.
Oh, you aren't. Okay, I hear you now.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, okay, Josh. We've been told in reports that Vince changed the finish. Dude, don't believe everything you hear out of Northern California. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, I missed what you said.
Plans change. I said plans change.
Yeah, shit happens. Yeah, I'm curious where they're gonna go with him, because I like that Alexa is saying, I've carried this for 4 months. I don't need him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty much what she said Monday. So I'm like, and she's not wrong. And when you think about the fact that this whole thing started because Bray, the Fiend, corrupted her best friend, her, secret admirer or whatever, Braun Strowman, it's like, if plans are to be thought of as true, if you read on the internet, we're going to see Braun and Bray come back around again. And, that'll be the battle for Alexa, which I'm okay with to a certain extent. I mean, Braun's been so stutter-stepped. Like, I don't know what to expect from him feud to feud. But if they give him and Bray a decent amount of time to work with this and, bring the story full circle, then I'm okay.
Yeah, we'll see if they revisit that. I don't know what to think coming out of Monday's Raw. It's like there's still so many loose ends that need tied up.
Yeah, Monday was just so... It was easily the worst Raw after Mania in recent memory, but it's like at the same time, it wasn't the same atmosphere because there's no live crowd. So there's nothing really to make the company go, oh, okay, we should do this.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the last Raw after Mania that had a crowd was at best because they had the Kofi Seth undisputed title match that ended in DQ, and they made them do a tag match, and the crowd did not care for that at all.
No,
they felt so baited and switched, and I get it. It's like,
man. Although, for anybody to realistically think that we're going to hotshot an undisputed title match and have it go to completion the night after Mania, it's like, guys, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
So. Anyway. As far as, it's funny you mentioned, the stat of the last Raw after Mania was 2 years ago. We move into tomorrow. And two people who probably knew that would probably know that kind of stuff, especially the Stuff the Bump champion, because he's the WWE Trivia champion. So there you go.
Scott Gatto, who was at WrestleMania.
Yes. I am so jealous. Like, okay. I told you off there, I had a really hard day yesterday, and a lot of things went into that, microcosm of hell for me. But part of that was talking with my brother and him, talking about him going back to the Dodger games and, resuming normality. It's like, dude, I'm glad you get to go, and I'm glad you're happy. I can't go to my Kings games this year. I can't just go, again, I don't drive, whatever, but I don't get to go to baseball games. I haven't been to a live wrestling show since SmackDown premiered on Fox. And I haven't been able to really do anything like that in a long. I mean, before the pandemic even hit, I was not doing anything out and about. And I've done a few things here and there, but normalcy is a very relative term right now. And saying I was jealous of Scott, that's not really an accurate thing. It's just I was happy for anybody that got to go, because the atmosphere, low capacity though it was, amazing atmosphere at WrestleMania, both nights. That crowd, if nothing else, they showed up and they delivered what the superstars needed them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because the superstars needed that as much as we needed them.
Yes.
I mean, Rhea talked about it on Raw Talk. They showed her out there on camera. She was almost in tears.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget who mentioned it on Talk Wrestling, but Lashley walked out there. Lashley usually Mr. Stoic and Mr. Going to whoop that ass. You could see in his eyes, he was even like, shit, dude, we got the crowd back. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, it was a very, very, even last year was unique. This year was very unique in its own right, too. And like Josh said, the crowd was just happy to be there watching wrestling live, man, because the WWE Universe has not been in attendance at a WWE main roster show in over a year. And it was just like, oh, we're taking the steps to get back to reality. And the unfortunate thing about reality is sometimes it smacks you in the face. And one of these two guys tomorrow is going to get a huge smack in the face, as are you, because I know you're looking at both these guys going, it doesn't matter who gets through. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then if they get through, they got to deal with, who they got to deal with. So it's like, jeez.
Yeah. So if you didn't watch last week, Chris Cass advanced to the finals, and he is No DQ's sole representative left in this match.
Yep.
So we either get Scott Gatto, who is the WWE The Bum trivia champion, who he's already won a trivia tournament this year. Can you make it a second?
Yeah.
Or we got Wrestle Talk's Louis Dangoor, who I don't want to say he came from nowhere, but I don't think he was everybody's or anybody's favorite to potentially win this thing. No. So he could really be the sleeper pick of this.
Yeah.
And if Louis wins tomorrow, then it's an international battle because we got Canada against England in the finals.
Right.
Like, you're wearing the USA thing. Scott's the lone representative from the USA in the tournament. And if he loses, I'm America's hope to stay as champion.
All right. So I know change your boy, but you got dig out your Kurt Angle merchandise if you end up facing Louis or Chris.
Yeah. I actually don't think I have any Angle merch.
What?
Like, here's the thing. I don't actually have a whole lot of WWE shirts, which is surprising. I'm sure that'll surprise a lot of people that I don't have this like bevy of wrestling merch. As you see, like I'm wearing Notre Dame stuff today. I have more sports merch than I have wrestling merch.
Oh, right.
I mean, if you count my merch as wrestling merch, then I probably have more of that. But
yeah, I was gonna say
I don't have a whole lot of WWE merch, and like I think about it, I'm like, I'm kind of okay with that because like if I want to get wrestling merch, like I eventually want to get a Britt Baker shirt. I just do because like you got to support. I got to support a fellow Pittsburgher,
Oh yeah.
But
and plus she's freaking awesome anyway.
Well, yeah, DMD.
Right.
But it has to happen. I gotta get some Britt Baker merch. You figure I gotta get Sasha merch at some time.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised you don't already, for real.
I would have gotten Undisputed Era shirt, but that seems dated now.
Right. Although, they had the end of an era shirt, which actually is a pretty cool looking shirt on the shop. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell's outside my house, but
whatever it is, they're backing that ass up.
Yeah.
So it's funny we're talking about merch. Let me see if I can do this without a freaking chain reaction of crazy. Bueller. There we go.
Yeah, because I made new merch for you the other day.
You did, and I appreciate that very much. And we're definitely going to plug that tomorrow during the sports bar, or maybe even today if I feel like getting the commercial, going again. So these are the shows I've watched along over the last year of the network that are actually available to buy at some store.
Yeah.
Like, I love the freaking I wasn't there WrestleMania shirt. That's tremendous. I said that when it came out. That's funnier than hell.
Yeah, it is.
I love that shirt. The Money in the Bank thing is the only 8-bit shirt out there that they've put out that I actually buy other than John's. I'm not a fan of the 8-bit look, but that's a cool shirt.
I mean, I can't say anything. I really need to rebuy my Super Mario Brothers inspired shirt because I don't know where the hell it is.
Oh, shit.
And I love that design. Like, I need to find another one of those.
Right. And then, of course, I hadn't really looked until this week. I don't know when they actually went on sale, but Rob's Hall of Fame shirt is pretty freaking sweet looking. Like it's got a blue, it's a blue primary, like a not like a light blue, but hell, powder blue isn't the right word for it either, but it's a really nice blue design, and it's got a really badass looking dragon on it, which RVD and dragons. That's yeah. I mean that I love that. That's the only reason I'd buy another RVD shirt, because I've got the anniversary one, I've got the 421, but that's a pretty sweet shirt. Yeah. And of course, like you said, it's so funny. Like we find ourselves just, kind of, tiddling around during the day. It's like, you know what? This shirt would be cool to have on our channels. Greg, to his credit, man, boom, banged it right out. We've got the Jeff Meacham Network official Here's the Thing shirt now. And I'm so glad we have that. Not trying to shit on the boss or whatever, but both the shirts that he put out there with that phrase on, number one, Pro Wrestling Tees, who, for better or worse, didn't really do us a whole lot of favors when we were with them full time. But the one on
I never cared for, like, I had my own PWT store.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
And the last shirt I got from them was such poor quality, I couldn't even wear it that often.
Yeah.
It was so poorly like printed out when I got it.
Yeah.
That like it was like my Heinz shirt, so I'll have to get another one of those from Teespring also.
Right.
But it was so poorly like designed. The white was like stripped off of it. It's like,
yeah.
It's like I paid for this. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So after that, like I shut down the PWT store because I was like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Like
and Aaron's is still up there for whatever reason. So I looked at the one on his. It's like it's got the catchphrase, it's got my name, and it's got Aaron's logo on the back. I'm like, okay. The one on his Teespring store, I don't like at all, and I'll tell you why. And this is going to sound really petty and really childish. He put up a Meachamania shirt without asking me if he could put up a Meachamania shirt.
Mm.
And then he put no DQ underneath the Meachamania logo. I'm like, okay, no. And then he put the catchphrase on the back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no. So help.
This is why I run all designs by you. Like, you have an idea, I show you the design before I even upload it, just to like, because I like having the creative.
Right.
I love designing shirts. I really do. Not just for the cash, but because I love having that creative outlet.
Right.
And it's fun for me. Like, it's fun to create. That's why I have like 15 or 20, maybe more than that, on my store. That's like, hey, look at this. This is a fun design you can get for a shirt.
And it's like, like we've talked about, they're just enough of a parody type thing where we can, Royal Rumble typeface. Hello. So, although these aren't on Teespring, you have to get these through with my boy Jeremy. But
I need to look into that because I think hats could be available on Teespring. So I need to.
I know they're available because I got my No DQ hat through them.
Okay, so I'm going to have to like look into the Teespring stuff after we're done here,
right?
And see if I can get a Jeff Meacham Network
hat section. Yeah. There's so many damn logos on my network now. It's like, Jesus. But then, we were talking, I was just talking to Greg the other night about, well, there's one other thing. Well, what do you want to do? And I said, we love the Shenanigans shirt because JJ and I have been using the Shenanigans for 10 years. Shenanigans done. Like, okay. So those are both out there now on the Jeff Meacham Network Teespring store. So and again, it really came down to necessity. The guy had lined up, fell off the face of the earth. Yeah. So it's like, okay, upgrade. So
I need to get some new designs out on my store. I feel like it's been quite a bit.
Yeah,
I've had a new shirt for me.
The thing is, we've both kind of slacked off on the merch side because just like WrestleMania just gets us freaking bogged down and busier and shit. But,
not only that, but my marketing ability is terrible.
Right, and also you've got you have the tournament to worry about till the end of this month. So once we get
everything is canned.
Yeah,
including the title match. It's canned.
Yes.
So this is here because I'm champion now.
Right.
We'll see how that is in a couple weeks because there may be a Greg Cherry show here in the future. This desk is pretty empty. We will see. I can't say anything
Yeah,
but everybody needs to have that thought in your minds. If you watch the tournament, you'll understand.
Yeah, it's definitely not any less heart attack inducing the last 3 weeks. I will say that.
I will say this: the final 3 matches to air, the semifinals with Scott and Louie, the finals with Cass and whoever wins between Scott and Louie, and then the championship match with whoever wins between Chris and whoever wins between Scott and Louie.
Right.
All 3 of those matches are great. Yep. And that's all I'll say. So tune into the last 3 weeks of the tournament.
For sure.
And it continues tomorrow. Next Thursday is the finals of the tournament. And then April 29th, episode 100. Championship match.
We need like a milestone shirt for that, like at some point. Like we need to come up with something.
I had an idea for a shirt if I end up retaining on episode 100. I came up with an idea. It was like Sunday or Monday morning before we recorded it. That was like, if I win, I kind of want to have like myself at the top of a shirt, kind of like the Mortal Kombat tower.
Nice.
But I feel like I would have to have other people's faces underneath it. As like, I don't think I have the rights to use anybody.
Well, not that. You and I talk about the one thing that's not your forte is people's faces. So it's
I'm not good with that. That's why I don't have any shirts with my face on it. Right. Not only because nobody would buy it, but because I'm not good with like actual like photoshopping of stuff. Like I can design basic things,
right?
Like I'm not the world's greatest graphic artist. I'm not. Like I'm not a graphic designer by any stretch of the imagination. But the designs I put out there are stuff that like, okay, these look good enough to put on a shirt and sell.
Right.
I'm not going to come up with like there are way better graphic designers than me. I will say that. But the stuff I put out there, I'm happy with my level of skill.
Definitely. The fact of the matter is, I have been a Kings fan my entire life. I would, if I was part of the Kings or like the shirt you designed for me with the old school logo, like it fits right in with Team LA. It really does. Like it looks that close. I was impressed with that. Curtis, I will say this since we're going to go into Q&A here in just a second. Greg and I are both biased, so I don't know if I can. I mean,
yeah, the Iron Man
was over the top, ridiculous good. Like
I'm going to be honest. I don't even think the Iron Man match was the greatest trivia match in the history of the show.
I don't think it was either.
It's up there, but it's not the best. Yeah. I still think the match that I hosted between you and Cass is.
Yeah.
The one that went to overtime. The one that went.
Right. I will say probably my finest hour was in defeat to you and the Iron Man. And that's my opinion personally, just because there was so much hype. There was so much animosity amongst the fans that it built and it built and it built. And it was so well executed for that year's WrestleMania week. That was one of the better things of the week period on anybody's network, including WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, really, WrestleMania was good that year. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but we started it off pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. I'm glad you brought up everything's canned. I'm glad you brought up that we talked because I did want to tell everybody, and I've been wrestling with this for the last 49 and a half minutes. I mentioned yesterday it was a day from hell. And after talking with you and talking with everybody involved except Mikey. So Mikey, if you're watching, sorry, I'll talk to you later about it. April 30th will be an episode of Dads. It'll be the day after the trivia finale. It'll be the day after the Renegades recap, talking about April going into May, which will be sci-fi month for JJ, which I'll talk about in a little bit. May 1st, I'm going to kind of back off and take a break and kind of take May for me. I will still co-host Stat Boy Sports Bar with Mikey because I don't want him to come back for 2 weeks and have to flounder again because that's not fair to him. I will come here with you and co-host whenever you need me to come co-host with you. If you need me, But other than that, I'm gonna kind of just ease off because I knew I was burnt out, and I've known I've been burnt out for pretty much since New Year's. But the last, what's today's date?
The 14th.
The last 45 days have been hell on me, and I can't health consciously go forward without taking at least a couple weeks, a month, and just breathing. So
I will say this. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm going to put it out there. I had a job interview today.
Oh,
if I in fact get this job, the Greg Cherry Show will have no choice but to switch time slots.
right.
So I'll try to keep it on Wednesdays, but it'll probably be in the evening.
Okay. Well, evening for you is still early, early afternoon for me.
It'll probably be 6, 7 o'clock, probably closer to 7.
Your time.
Yes.
That's 4 o'clock for me. That Wednesdays at 4 o'clock is wide open for me, which is good.
Yeah. So I again don't want to jinx myself, but
yeah,
that is what it is. So now that I do want to plug one more time before we get into the weird laws, Scott Gatta, Louis Dangor in the semifinals. The second semifinal match is tomorrow. Please check out that episode. You will not be disappointed.
No,
unless the person that you're rooting for loses. But
right.
Even then, it is a fantastic match that I hope you guys check out.
So since it's out there, and I said I'm regretting, I did regret sitting in. I sat back in the control room like the whole way. So it's like, good luck y'all tomorrow. That's all.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for you, like if we do another tournament, if I end up retaining,
right.
So
I am hosting. I'm hosting post game. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll be off camera, but on mic, I need to change. I'm getting too hot in this jersey. So.
Okay. Well, we'll get into the weird laws.
Okay. There you go.
So we are going to go into the weird laws. It is Nebraska's edition, and please send you guys questions, and we'll try and rattle through a few questions real quick because we went way over time on that segment, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And fortunately, Nebraska doesn't have too many weird laws. So,
well, I wouldn't think Nebraska would be too weird. Nebraska's not too weird of a place in and of itself. So,
yeah, and I don't feel like it's a state we've done before. So here we go.
Yeah,
in Nebraska, persons with gonorrhea may not marry.
Okay.
That seems kind of terrible. It's like, listen, like, sure, they made some poor life decisions, but they should be allowed to marry, you would think.
Yeah, it's again, the whole church versus state thing. Like, who are you to tell me I can't get married? Like, that's
Yeah. It is illegal to fly a plane while drunk. I'm okay with that one.
That should be a global law.
Yeah, why is that just limited to Nebraska? Why have I not seen that in any other state thing? Yeah, of course, you shouldn't be allowed to fly a plane while drunk, or drive while drunk, or really
do anything on camera or in public.
Yeah,
jeez.
Okay, this Nebraska. What is wrong with you?
Oh boy!
If a child burps during church, his parent may be arrested.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tremendously horrible.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, again, I am all about, curtailing bad habits in public, especially in church. I mean, it's church, man. Come on. But, kids burp. It happens, man. Okay. Yeah, so if baby's eating back there and he gets burped, cardinal sin.
Yeah. It's like, listen, like, okay, I'm a Christian. I know I curse a little bit, but it is what it is. But there are more. God's not going to look at the baby or the parent, be like, "You burped during church, you're going to hell." No, like, do you think that's like at the top of his list? Like, being in every church service on Sunday and be like, "Oh, who burped? Who burped? Yeah. This is what I'm doing today." No, like, there are way, way bigger problems in the world than if somebody has gas during church. It's not ideal, like, as far as the public setting, but not like God's gonna stop loving you because you have some gas.
And it's as sick as I've been the last 3-4 weeks, I'm glad I haven't been out in public, man, because the burps I've had come out of me, they feel like they come out of my toes. It's like burp. Oh man, where was that? So if it happens in church, sorry God, but I've been sick. So anyway,
okay, this one is. I half agree with this one. It is illegal to go whale fishing. Yeah. I agree with that. But here's the thing. Where the hell are there whales in Nebraska?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're against whaling. That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
that law is acceptable. But where exactly are there whales in Nebraska?
Yeah, it's like, are you importing them into your lake and then saying you can't? Huh? What's happening here? Weird.
I don't get
that's definitely a weird state law because it shouldn't apply to that state in any fashion whatsoever.
Yeah, it shouldn't. And it's not like there's a SeaWorld there, I don't think. So
no, there's not. Like I don't even think there's a animal centric water park there.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure
I've never been west of Chicago, so I couldn't tell you.
West Chicago, you haven't been there? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not well traveled as far as across the state. I've Fame, Jen and I road trip to Florida, like we've talked about that, but right. And of course we've gone on a couple cruises together. So, but I've never been west of Chicago.
Well, Mania 39 is only 2 years away. So
I know we're talking about it. All right, next up. It is illegal for bar owners to sell beer unless they are simultaneously brewing a kettle of soup.
What the actual fuck is that about? Sorry for the F word, but what the crap? Oh my God.
Well, first of all, we're not on Riff's network, so what do we care?
Well, no, but we're on my network. I'm trying to be a good boy too, so it's
you're going to get demonetized on your end.
Well, no. It's funny. After I had that dad's rant on the Hall of Fame thing the other day, YouTube put a thing out. It's okay to swear, but it's like, yeah, mine's the butt. So,
well, that's good at least.
But it's like, why do you have to be brewing a kettle of soup to serve beer? Like, are you trying to make sure they don't get too drunk or what? I'm like, and honestly, as far as absorbing the alcohol, soup's the wrong thing.
Yeah. Here's your chicken noodle and Bud Light.
Yeah, if it's Campbell's chicken noodle, it's rail thin. It ain't gonna do any damage to the beer consumption.
It is illegal for a mother to give her daughter a perm without a state license.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and as a wife who is a licensed cosmetologist, that makes sense to me.
Especially a perm. Perms are no joke, man. They are. They say perm because they end up being permanent, to a certain extent. So, yeah, no.
In Lehigh, Nebraska, donut holes may not be sold. F you, Lehigh.
Yeah, it's my fat ass.
No. Yep. You don't take donut holes away from us fatties. You don't do it.
Nope.
Because we take donut holes away from you. No.
That's right. We condemn you for your lack of donut holes. Shame.
Yeah. Now, granted, I'm a cream-filled donut guy, but the occasional donut.
Gross. Oh no. Nope.
You don't like cream-filled donuts?
No, I don't. I can't. Like I don't know if it was because I had a jelly donut when I was little, and it just very much Joey on Friends, like just everywhere. I'm like, I'm good. That's it. Nope. I'm a spaz when I eat anyway. Like I'm very much my paternal grandfather and my mother's child, just everywhere, man. Just saw it. So like jelly filled is instant. Like, okay, you're screwed for today for breakfast. So.
Yeah, I don't do jelly filled donuts. I don't do custard filled donuts either. Like Boston cream.
I don't do custard. Period. Like no.
But like vanilla cream filled donuts are my jam. I love them.
It's funny. I'm not much of a vanilla. Period. This is gonna sound really bad. We're talking about being Christians. Vanilla whiskey is the only vanilla I can tolerate. Jim Beam vanilla, man. Woo. Good stuff.
You need to have my milkshakes when I make them for our taco night.
Well, if I end up coming back, then maybe I'll bring me to the yard. Anyway,
in Waterloo, Nebraska, barbers are forbidden from eating onions between 7 a.m. and then the sentence cuts off. So I have no idea.
Who's banned from eating onions?
barbers.
So barbers can't. Well, I don't want a barber with onion breath. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish they would give a time frame as opposed to between 7
Barbers
a.m.
are shouldn't be eating onions when they're on shift or getting ready to be on shift. Because as I've learned being Santa, if you don't take X amount of time to detoxify your pores, dude, the kid's gonna get like freaking garlic breath Santa, and that ain't pretty. So barbers shouldn't be having onions if they're going to be working full time. That's nasty.
Yeah. And finally, in good old Omaha, Nebraska, a man is not allowed to run around with a shaved chest.
So WWE's can't work in Omaha. Good to know.
Not a problem for me.
Yeah, I'm good too. It's
all right.
white
So
just the ginger, but it's there.
All right, so that is Weird Law Wednesday. We are now hitting the Q&A. Send in your questions.
Over an hour. Woo
woo! We might not get to all of them, but
we'll try.
Yeah. Cody Reigns. Do you see WWE unifying the women's championships, and who would you book to go over?
Oops, sorry, crap. Sorry, my bad.
I got it.
Thank you.
I don't see them unifying the championships, like the main roster championships, but if they did, with who is champion now, holy crap. Hi, Big G. I better get a cut of that. Holy crap. Thanks, Big G. We love you, brother.
No,
for those who didn't see it in the chat, no message, but appreciate it.
$37.50? Half of that?
What's that?
What's half of that? $37.50?
Yeah.
Okay. On it.
Cool.
Once I get paid, it takes freaking YouTube forever. You know that better than anybody. So
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, thank you, Big G. We appreciate it as always.
Well, I mean, God, he gave me whatever it was 100 that one time. I was like, gee, dude, God, relax, Jesus.
He's big baller G, brother. Like he's making that green.
And that's why I feel bad that I told him I couldn't go to the wedding, because it's just like, yeah, he's like donating all this stuff, but it's like I can't drop $400 on a round trip flight because that makes my brain aneurysm. I can't. That's it. See,
I was gonna say with checks like that, then you might be able to make it yet.
The thing is, I don't get a stinning, so
that's ridiculous.
I haven't worked and worked like this is work, but I haven't like real life worked in too long. So
okay.
Anyway, so as far as unification, like based on that segment NXT last night, don't unify a damn thing.
Yeah.
All three of those women deserve their own showcase, their own programs, their own time. And that was a genuine, organic moment. Don't shit on it right now, man. Oh my goodness.
If they had to, if they absolutely had to unify the women's championships.
Right.
Like if they decided that they were going to end the brand split and then just go to one championship for all that.
Right.
If they absolutely had to do it. Can't believe I'm saying this. They'd have to give it to Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. They would have to. And it would frustrate a lot of people because, she was the first person to win the brand new women's championship, which is now the Raw Women's Championship.
Right.
But like you almost have to give it to a heel. You can't give it to a babyface who's gonna run with it. Or they could do it Jericho style and give it to somebody unexpected, like with the Undisputed Championship. They could do something like that and give it to like Bayley or something. I don't know.
Well, the thing with that, and again, you and I have both touted the greatness that is Chris Jericho over the years, but they can't give it to her like they gave it to Jericho, because that was crap. He walked into catering, we're going down, Jericho's gonna be a champion. All right. It's like, if the boss is saying that going in, he's not setting him up for success. If they give the women's championship to whoever it is, they have to be like, okay, here's your chance, here's your ball, I expect you to hit the end zone. Not I expect you to fumble, and have a storyline with a damn dog as your main program to lose the title.
I feel like that was a complete Vince thing to just rib Jericho?
I mean, maybe, but think about when you, and again, this is going to be really freaking waxing philosophical here. When you think about the grand picture of wrestling, and this is going to sound really stupid because it's fake, Jeff. I know, thanks. Lou Thesz was the last undisputed champion before Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thinks of Lou Thesz as a joke. Nobody thinks of Strangler Lewis as a joke. If you did, you'd get stretched for it because you're an idiot. Chris Jericho's reign was interference to win the titles. Like interference, like I think the entire roster was in that match at one point or another between the two matches with Rock and Austin.
Yeah.
The Rumble match was every heel thing you could do. Low blow, using the ropes, and interference, and Nick Patrick, the screw referee. That's the most NWO thing in WWE history, including the NWO being there. Austin, NWO interfered it. So there you go. And then the freaking program with Hunter was so bad. Like, they did not set Chris Jericho up to be a prominent, like, he's the undisputed champion. Chris will say, yeah, I was the first. I beat both guys. But he'll be the first to tell you his reign was absolute shit. So.
He would not have a good world title reign until 2008.
You and I will talk about that many times. And I agree with that. And the thing is, the Undisputed Championship in 2002, think about it. Triple H was champion for a month because Vince got the freaking Hulkamania vibe in his yoo-hoo again.
Yeah.
Then they took it off him to give it to the Undertaker, who Undertaker was a badass Undisputed Champion.
He was.
Rock, American Badass. I got that reference just now. Thanks, Jeff. Although by then he was Big Evil anyway. So The Rock was a setup to get it to Brock. And I think if Brock had remained the Undisputed Champion, he would have been a dominant champion. He didn't, so we'll never know. So the Undisputed Championship, I think, is very... The title, the phrasing title, Undisputed Champion, is very overrated. Because, it wasn't until I did, and even when they redid it again in 2013, it's like Orton, Orton was a decent unified champion for the last part of 13 going into WrestleMania 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan got hurt early. Couldn't help it. John was a means to an end. And by end, I mean the end of Jeff's sanity at SummerSlam. Because Brock Lesnar, to Brock's credit, was probably the most dominant undisputed champion of the second undisputed championship era.
Yeah.
Because nobody could touch him until Seth Rollins shocked the world. So.
All right. So.
Okay, rant over. Sorry about that.
So if they had to, I would probably do Charlotte, but
yes, sorry, I kind of went off. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody, and again, this is me. I'm very biased towards Charlotte. I always have been. I don't think there's anybody more qualified on the roster to be the undisputed women's champion than Charlotte Flair right now. I like you said the whole unexpected thing with Bayley. It's like Bayley was completely. I don't want to use the damn B word because she's not underground with a shovel. WrestleMania didn't do her any favors at all.
No. Well, we were talking about Jericho. Elon Brown has this question. What did you guys think about the Jericho Broken Skull sessions? I agree. It was fantastic. Loved
the
it.
Best one, not named Undertaker. I'll die on that hill. Undertaker's 2 were the best ones. Jericho's is like 2A.
I still have to watch a bunch of them. Like I watched the first Undertaker one.
Right.
I watched the Bret Hart one. I watched the Sasha Banks one. That shouldn't surprise anybody. And I watched the Jericho one. So I still have to watch Orton. I still have to watch Angle. I still have to watch Bayley's.
Yeah.
I want to check out all of those because the Broken Skull sessions are just such a great look back.
Yeah.
So I have to check out all those. But Jericho's Broken Skull sessions was masterfully done, and they brought up AEW quite a bit. So
I think AEW was mentioned way more than any of us expected. Like before 5 minutes had passed. Like, oh, okay, well, here we go.
Yeah, because Austin brought up AEW quite a few times right at the beginning of the interview, and then near the end of the interview, here's a shot with Jericho with the AEW championship as Le Champion. It's like
that,
okay, like we're going here.
It's so weird how, like, and again, this is just me, I don't know if it's Vince like not really worrying about the quote unquote competition, but it's like the fact of the matter is, now in the last 5 years, we've seen Dixie Carter on a WWE produced program, and we've seen the AEW championship now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird times, folks. Weird times.
Forbidden doors get knocked down.
But like I said, if WWE considers themselves the guardians, the catalogers of wrestling, they almost have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like we have one more question in here.
Yeah.
Let me look.
Trying to see here.
Here's one from Josh from earlier.
There you go.
Where would you rank the Braun versus Shane match among Shane's Mania matches? I would rank it up there pretty good.
I'll let you, because Shane's your guy.
The definitive Shane McMahon match guy. It was good. It was not my favorite.
Yeah, it was good, not great.
I would rank it above Shane's tag match from 34. I would rank it above that, because that was more of a Bryan showcase than anything.
As it should have been.
I don't think it was better than Shane and Taker in Hell in a Cell. Miz versus Shane was really good. AJ versus Shane we just did on Rewind, and that was fantastic.
Yep. Hell of a finale.
I may, just because when we watched it, or when I watched it last, I may rank it above Shane and X-Pac from 15, just because that match was so interference heavy.
Right.
That like X-Pac was like fighting off like 12 different people at one point.
Right. You figure the posse, Hunter, China, Patterson, and Briscoe to start with,
So I like the Shane and X-Pac match, but like the fact that it's so interference heavy like drives it down. But I definitely wouldn't rank it above Vince and Shane. Absolutely.
No.
So it would probably be in the lower half if I had to say. Yeah. But that's not a knock to Braun and Shane. It's just that Shane's had great matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it'll be very hard for him or anybody to top Shane's match with Vince on so many levels.
Yeah.
I mean, the drama of it, the fact that, at the end of the day, whatever storyline's in place, this is a father and son beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And Stephanie's involvement, and Trish's involvement, and Linda's unbelievable poppin' moment.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mick Foley refereeing. There's just so much good in that match.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Just so good. And Curtis, you're absolutely right. I would not miss that at all.
Oh my God. Yeah. The thing is, like, Sean's a good Christian boy now, but how much will Sean be able to say before? Okay, yeah, you can't say stop. Wait,
I'm sure. Like between Shane and or between Sean and Stone Cold, like they'd have some good stories. Even,
yep.
And I'm sure they'll dive into like Sean's deep stuff too, because you see, like, obviously they weren't going to mention Benoit, which was a big part of Jericho's career.
Right. Sean's story and his final fall from grace and aha moment really happens around the time Steve becomes a champion. So that definitely got to be brought up.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they had to carry Sean to get him to make sure Steve became the champion. Because when that moment doesn't happen, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
That's it for us, because we're already way over time. But
yeah, Again, trivia tomorrow with Greg hosting, me in the control room sweating. Louie and Scott doing their thing as only they can do. Immediately after the post game, which will be on both networks like this show is, Stat Boy Sports Bar. Mikey's back. I'm so happy. I like. It's so funny how you don't realize you miss something or someone until they're not around for a while. Man, Mikey's show, like I've missed doing that show because it's very sports heavy, and you know, it's so funny. We were talking last night, my dad and I. The Reds are in first place. The Angels are in first place, or damn near there. The Dodgers are in first place. Like, yay, sports! Oh wait, we still have the Kings. So, sports
it's not a perfect world,
No, it's not a perfect world. And if it was a perfect world, I could sit my own damn seat table and not have to worry about not going to a Kings game this year, which really sucks. So anyway, thank you guys for allowing us to go off into the weeds here as we always do, but even more so today. And thank you guys for understanding about my need to step back. I appreciate you letting me have that platform to say it, Greg. Thank you.
Of course. And we will see you guys all tomorrow for trivia, but of course we will see you guys next week right here for the Greg Cherry Show.